The easiest resolutions to make. There's a story behind that. This is your daily message from Chad, number 901, to upgrade your mental game today by telling yourself a better story. Because the most important story you hear is the story you tell yourself. If you haven't followed or subscribed yet, please do. This message is dedicated to the memory of Bob Newhart. Here's the upgrade. The bigger impact may not be from starting something, but stopping. Here's the story. Bob Newhart had a one-time guest spot in season 6 of the sketch comedy show Mad TV in 2001. Bob Newhart played a psychiatrist called Dr. Schweitzer. A new patient visits him named Catherine Bigman, played by Mo Collins. She brings her fear of being buried alive to him, and he patiently listens to her debilitating description and gives her a 2-word solution, yelling at her to stop it. She is obviously stunned and asks, "I'm sorry?" So he yells it again, and she repeats it questioningly. Newhart's character yells it again and spells it out as S-T-O-P, new word I-T for emphasis. The bit became iconic through YouTube clips, and you can watch the full 7-minute version on YouTube by searching Bob Newhart, Stop It, Mad TV. There's a reaction video of 3 therapists that watch this clip and discuss how they wish they could tell patients this advice sometimes. I know every problem or bad habit can't be solved by someone saying stop it or telling ourselves that. However, resolutions or habits can be dichotomized into 2 simple categories. There are things we can start and things we can stop. I would submit to you, in general terms, it takes less energy to not do something than to do something. Not doing something typically takes less physical energy. Not doing something typically takes less emotional energy. Not doing something is typically cheaper and would save you money. I pass by an office that has a policy of not smoking on the property. How do I know this? Because there are always employees standing out on the curb smoking. They are out there no matter if the weather is steaming hot or below freezing. I'm amazed at the commitment these people have to their habit. I understand the demand of nicotine that makes it addictive, but I can't help but think how much easier their lives would be if they stopped smoking. 1,250 days ago, I stopped something. It was actually 1,250 days ago yesterday, so it's been 1,251 days today. I haven't had a drop of alcohol for the past 1,251 days. I've mentioned before that my coach asked me a question that flipped a switch in me. I knew the answer was to not drink anymore as soon as he asked it. In that moment, I made the decision to stop. Do you want to know what the question was? He asked, "What is one thing if you stopped, you know would have the biggest impact on every area of your life?" For me at that time, it was drinking alcohol. It impacted my health, my sleep, my diet, my billfold, my weight, and my mood. I knew if I stopped that one thing, it would have a ripple effect into almost every other area of my life. And guess what? It took no energy for me to do it. All I had to do was not do it. I didn't have to learn anything new. I didn't have to spend time reading a bunch of books. It cost me no money to stop. I just had to not do it. A new you resolution could be that simple in your life. Is there one thing that if you stopped it, you know would have a huge impact on the rest of your life? You can stop doing it. You can stop saying it. You can stop thinking it. You can stop going there. You can stop hanging out with that person. You can stop using that app. You can stop watching it. You can stop. Again, I'm not brushing off the difficulty of not doing some things. You may not be able to go cold turkey. It may require some big changes. You may need therapy. You may need strong accountability. You may have to try and fail many, many times before it sticks. But in comparison to having to start something, like for instance, training for a marathon, to not do something, like to not use a phone app, you have to admit it would be easier to not do something. That's my main point. The better story to tell yourself is, I make my life easier by not doing all the things that would make my life harder and less enjoyable. The easiest New Year resolution you make may simply be stopping something. Ask yourself that question that Brian asked me. Is there one thing that if I stopped, I know would impact every area of my life? Tell me a story of the impact of stopping a bad habit from chadsmith@gmail.com. Send a text to someone and ask them, What is one thing, if you stopped, you know would have the biggest impact on every area of your life? If you haven't followed or subscribed yet, please do. You can download my book, The Most Powerful Story in the World, by going to FromChad.gumroad.com. The transcript of this message and hundreds of others are always available at www.fromchad.com.